Hey, what's up guys, welcome back, and in this video we are going to talk about state management. So as you can see on the screen, we have an application, basically Flutter app, which is BMI Calculator. And what happens over here is that you can select one value. Let's say I can select male, female. I can set a height of that particular person, and then I can choose weight, that what's the weight, then age as well. And there are some steppers as well, like plus minus buttons over here, and a slider on the height. And then this is kind of a radio button, like different buttons, but yeah, we are setting it. And then we can just click on calculate, and it can give us result that whether it is underweight or you are normal or you are overweight. So as you can see, this result was underweight, and we can recalculate. This is a pretty good application. It's running on Mac OS right now. The only thing is that if we look into the code, so if I'll show you the code, so you can see it's a main.dart. It's a very simple application. No external package is being used so far. And if we go to input page, you can see we have an enum called sex, male and female. Then we have various fields here, like height is there, or weight is there, age is there. By default, these have some values. And then you can see we are using a lot of set state for setting different things for male, female, and like updating card color, updating age, height, weight, all those sort of things. We are using something called set state, which is making it a little bit like for this small application, which is probably a single page application. So if we click here, you can see all the things. So there's two page, like there are two pages. One is that input page, and second is this result page. But the entire logic stuff is happening only on one page, which is input page. The only problem is that when you do set state, although it's a very small app, but when you do set state, this rebuilds the entire UI. So the idea is basically to introduce you with state management with one of my packages, and we'll see how we can fix this thing. The only thing with this particular package or with this particular code is that you can also basically extract them as a like independent widgets, or independent stateful widgets, I should say. And then you can do set state there as well, but it will be tough in the future to get those values in some other screen and manipulate those values. So all those sort of things will be there. And also we will try to make this code even better. So as you can see right now, we are having almost 250 plus lines of code, which is fine. Lines of code is not a problem, but the way it is being handled, it's very tough. And when I'll convert it to a better version, then you will see how good you can write it. So now without further ado, what we will do, we will go to pubspec.yml, and here I'm gonna add a dependency called velocity x. And if you don't want to use velocity x, you can add a dependency called vx state. And now velocity x is added here. The version is right now 2.6.1. now what I'm gonna do is basically I am going to go to main.dart, and here with run app, I am going to wrap this widget to something called vx state. Vx state you need to import, and then it has something called a store. And this store will be responsible for giving us all the data and manipulating the entire this BMI calculator. So I can say, let's say BMI store, and there will be only single store, by the way. And then we can add some interceptors if we want. So right now we don't have any. And here in the lib folder, I'm going to create a new file, which I'll just say BMI underscore store dot dart. And here I can just say BMI store, which will extend vx store. And we have to do some things over here, like we have to say that, okay, we have to first of all import vx store. So I can just go here and we can just use velocity x dot dart. So vx store is here, and okay, I think that's why it's giving us some error. Now this BMI store will carry all the things which we have in input page. For example, we have here height, weight, age, and all those sort of things. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just going to select these things from here, and I will put it here in the BMI store. And here also I will import this library. So store is basically a single source of truth from where you will get all your data anytime, anywhere inside your application. And then we will perform some operations as well. And this is a stateful widget. We will convert it to stateless widget. So what I'm gonna do is basically I'm gonna just remove all these things, and I'm gonna just say stateless widget. And it has something called male card color and female card color as well, which also I'm gonna copy, and I'll just keep it here. And then let's add material dot dot. And similarly, what we can do, we can import these as well from the constant library. So these are basically just color in the constants file. And then what we are going to do, guys, we can add one more field here, sex, which is choice. Let's say if you want to select male or female, so we can by default say that it is male, and we have to import this. Basically this is nothing but an enum, so I think it should be male. Yes, so by default it is male, choice, and all these things are here. So these are the, so if you see the screen, we have one field which is the sex, like male or female, then we have height, then we have weight and age. All these fields, like these are three fields, these, or four fields I should say, these can be changed. And then the card of these colors are also changing for male and female. So there are basically total, if you'll see, then we have five different things. These, let's count them as one. And now we are done with this, and now you can see we have a lot of things like this, like update card color and all this, select male, select female, and a lot of complicated code has been written. So we will remove this part entirely, and then we will get some issues over here with different things, but that's fine. So now we have to create some mutations. Mutations are basically some methods, or you can say some kind of change in your data, right? So how we will do using vx state is basically we will create these mutations in, like, for different I would say different actions, we will create different mutations. So for example, we have to change height, so we can just say class change height. Let's say this is a mutation, so we can say vx mutation, it will extend vx mutation. And the type of store will be this. And then it will create one missing override, which is perform method. Perform, you have to override this, and all the business logic you will write here. And this method will basically give you a new height, right? So whatever the new height it will give, we will use our store, and we can use that height, and we can say that this is height, this height, store dot height is equal to this height. And store can be, definitely it cannot be null, so we are just gonna use this operator. And then we are going to create constructor for this final field as well. So this is how you write mutations. Similarly, we will create the similar kind of mutation for age, and I'll just replace the properties, change age, and then we can just say age. And similarly, we will do the same thing for weight. So weight will be there as well, change weight. And this code is better in like so many ways. Like this is easy to test, this is easy to manipulate, and all your business logic at one place, so it makes your life very easy. Although this is a very small app, but it can be very useful in for future. And here we can use weight, and this is very straightforward as well, guys. You don't have to write so much boilerplate code as well. So we have change age, we have change height and weight as well. What else we have to change? So these three things is changed. We have to let's say we have to make one more method where we can say change, let's say gender. So change gender will be there, and here it will be sex of choice. And we will pass a choice basically, and it will do some logic based on the choice. And let's say we will allot choice here, and based on this choice, guys, we have two colors as well. If you see, we have two colors. One is male card color, which is by default inactive. We can make it in fact active. And female is by default inactive, for example. So what we can do here, when we are writing this business logic, that choice, we are changing the choice. Let's say from male it is now female. So we can say here, let's say choice is equal to, if it is male, okay, then what we will do, we can say store dot male card color is k active card color. And for female we can say inactive card color, right? Which is which makes more sense, right? inactive card color. But if it is not male, then we will do the opposite of it. So for example, I'll copy it, and this time we will say this is inactive, and inactive, and then this one is active. So female will be active when the sex is female, and otherwise male will be active. So these are all the business logics which we have to write, and that's it. So if you want to reflect all these changes, okay, if you want to rebuild the entire widget tree, then what you can do basically is inside the build, first of all, you have to access the store. So to access the store, we can access, let's say, BMI store is equal to vx state dot store. So we have to import all these things. So let's import BMI store as well. So first of all, we will get access to the store inside the build method as, let's say, BMI store. So we have the store here. If you want to rebuild the entire UI, you can use something called vxstate.watch, and you can listen for mutations here. And whatever mutation will change, this will rebuild the entire UI inside this build method. So that's not what we are going to do, but rather what we want to do is, first of all, when we update this card color, okay, let's say he changes the male or female kind of thing. So first of all, we will use this store to get this male card color. Okay, so now store dot male card color we can say, and when you click on it, right, you want to change the gender. So what we can do, we can remove this, and we can rather say change gender. This is our mutation, and we have to give it choice. So we can say sex dot male, because that's what this card is all about. This is male card. Similarly, we will do the same for this female card color, and this time we will copy this and paste it like sex dot female, and that's what you have to do for this. So this is done. Now when these things change, right, like let's say gender changes, or yeah, male or female, then we have to also tell our UI that you have to look for this change. How we will do that, I'll just come to that. But let's do the same thing for height as well. So for height, we can just say store.height.toString, and when you yeah, there is a slider by which we change the height. So here we have set state and something like this. We will remove this set state, and we can in fact remove this as well, and here we can just say change height, and we can give the new height value, and that's what we have to do. Similarly, we will come to the weight part. We can just say store dot weight, and then for this particular portion, we have to increase the weight by 1 when you click on plus button, right? So we can say change weight, okay, and we can say store dot weight plus 1. So this is what we can write. Similarly, for negative weight, we can say, let's say this, and minus 1. So this is pretty good. Similarly, for age, we will do the same thing, store dot age, and this time it will be change, not weight, but this should be change age. So I'll just say change age, and we can say store dot age plus 1. Okay, and similarly we can do the same thing for this as well, which is pretty good, and this time it will be minus 1. So we have done all the part. Here in the calculator object, we can just say store dot height and store dot weight, and that's it, guys. Like, we have done everything. Let's do a hot restart and let's see what happens, right? So if we go here, okay, this is what we have. If I select female, nothing actually happens. If I try to move the slider, nothing happens, and these values are also not changing. Why? Actually, if you do a hot reload, then you will see that these values are actually changing. See, these values change suddenly, right? Male became female and all that. Why this is not reflecting directly is because we are not telling our UI to change these things. For example, we are not telling our UI to change the height, right? So what exactly I want to change? I don't want to let's say if you just change the height, or if you just change the weight, I don't want to build this entire widget tree again. I just want to build this particular card. Let's say if I just change the weight from 63 to 64, I just want this card to get changed, rather than just the entire UI is actually getting rebuilt, right? Because that can cause performance issue for big applications. So now I will do that. So let's go to this height part. So what we want to change is basically we have to change the height store.height, because height will be updated when we change the slider. So we have to wrap this entire widget, which is probably your reusable card. So these two widgets are coming under the reusable card. We can wrap it with another widget called VX Builder. So what VX Builder will do, it will first of all, it will give us a builder where we will have context and status. Let's leave it like this. And then it will ask you for the mutations. What mutations it will listen to, which means what actions it will listen to when this widget needs to change. So for height, what is the mutation? Change height. So it will only listen for change height. Whenever there will be change in the height, this widget, like whatever comes under this VX builder, these widgets will be rebuilt. Okay, now let's try it. So now if I go back to this, and now if I try to change it, this is working pretty well. So all of these things are working, and we can see we don't have anything in debug, but yeah, this is working. Similarly, what we have to do, we have to just go here. So how we can prove this, right? In build, let's try to print something. Let's say I am in, for example, like this. So we can see right now that let's say, let's do a hot reload. I am in is printed over here, right? And if our entire widget will rebuild, if I just yeah change this height, then I am in should be printed more times, right? But it's not happening. So which means this is working pretty well, right? And this is faster as well. So let's remove this. We are like, we don't need this. Similarly, we will do the same thing for weight as well, right? So we will go to reusable card. We will wrap it with our VX builder widget, and we will say the child to be builder, and we will give context comma you know this reusable card, and this time mutation. For this change, we want change weight as the mutation which it will listen to, right? So pretty good, right? Similar stuff we have to do for age. So we will wrap this reusable card with the VX builder. We have some more widgets, but those widgets are not needed for this particular tutorial. You can check the documentation for more stuff. And this mutation will be change age, right? So now let's try all these three things. So height is working fine, weight is also working fine now, if you can see, and age is also working fine now. And if you'll see, we are only using a stateless widget, right? But male female is not changing, guys. Why? Because this also needs to go somewhere, right? So we have two reusable cards which comes under expanded, which comes under a row. So we can wrap this entire row. So row, we can just say VX builder, and then we can say builder, and then we can say context comma dash just for status, because we don't need it, and mutation. This time the mutation will be change in gender. And that's it, guys. This is all you have to do, and you are done. So now the length of code, as you can see, initially when I showed you, this was 250 plus lines, but now this is lesser. Although we have created a BMI store class where we have almost 750 60 lines, but now this code is much better, right? You can easily test it. Everything has a different method, and like you can get these values from everywhere. So like let's try it. We can select male or female. It is working fine. For example, male, let's say we set some height, let's say 174. Let's decrease weight, let's change height, and let's calculate. And it says normal 19.7. You have a normal body weight. Good job. So yeah, that's the idea, guys. And let's say if we calculate for female, let's increase the height, let's increase the weight as well. Height, let's remove it, and you can see overweight 32.9. So basically this is the entire application working. Now what is the advantage of this single BMI store, right? You can do a lot of good stuff with this. For example, you have your height, weight, age, choice, card colors at one place. You have different mutations which you can directly test. Everything can be done at one place, but there are many other features which VX state provides. One of those features can be, let's say if I just let's say overwrite toString here, rather than saying return super.toString, I will say, for example, we can say height is dollar height, and let's say age is $age, and let's say weight is $weight, $weight, and then we can say $choice, whatever the choice is. How we are going to use it is very like easy thing. So we have something called interceptors. You can use the interceptor to time travel in the entire like how it works in Redux, right? So what we are going to do, just take a look. Let's say we create a class called log interceptor, and we will extend it with vx interceptor. And what it will give us two different methods. Let's create these two overrides. So one is after mutation and one is before mutation. What it means is basically before mutation is previous state of your particular UI, and after mutation is basically current state. So what we can say print let's say previous state, and here we can get the state using this mutation dot store dot toString, right? And this will be our previous state. If we return true, which means this mutation will actually occur. If we will return false, then this mutation will stop and it will not work. Okay, similar stuff we will do for after mutation, which is basically when your mutation is done, then your state is changed. So this is the current state. Now we have to go to main dot dart, and here we have to give interceptor, and we can give our log interceptor over here. Now the advantage you will see. Let's do a hot restart. Let's open the debug console, and here we have the debug console. In fact, let me just go like this, and I'll show you everything here. So let's change the height over here. Let's change from male to female, and you can see previous state was height 180, age 20, weight 60, but sex was male. Now it is female. Let's change the height 181. You can see, let's say 213. So you can see all the state which are changed. So previously the height was 181, now height is 213. And let's say we change the weight to 60, let's say 59, then you can see we have now weight 59, sex female, and current state is height 213. Previous one is also there. So let's change the age 21, and you can see the height is 213, age 21, weight is 59, and sex is female. Let's change the sex to male back, and you can see the sex is male now. So this is how you can use interceptors. You can have many interceptors if you want, and this time your code looks better as well. You can use something called VX effects as well, which is out of the scope of this video, but you can definitely do that. And similarly, we have used just VX builder, but there are various ways. Like if you want to rebuild the entire UI, let's say if you have a component, you can use VX state.watch. There are other VX consumer as well, VX notifier as well, which can be useful when you have to show a snack bar, or you have to use a context or something like that. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and this is now a better code, better like it is not even boilerplated. It is just as simple as it looks like, and you don't have to do anything, and your UI works pretty well. So yeah, and by the way, just to mention, this VX state is basically using inherited model behind the scenes with the power of streams. So you are not losing anything in that scenario. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, press the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also don't forget to press the bell icon to get future updates. Also, if you want the entire stuff on this VX state, VX store, I have a very good video about it on codeput.dev, so you can check it out. The link is in the description, so you can see there the state management comparison between provider and this as well, so you can check it out. And yeah, that's it guys. Bye bye, see you next time.